folks. Welcome to another week of Spreading the Baseball News with Larry. Hope everyone is well. A little proverbial change of pace today because we're going to talk about baseball I'm going to talk about baseball here in North America. The reason being is the boys of summer are back. Thursday night was the start of the baseball season. My favorite, the Yanks, played the defending champs Washington Nationals, and the Yanks won in an abbreviated game. It was halted by rain. The Yanks, I'm sure you all saw, won 4-1. Garrett Cole made his Yankee debut, beat Max Scherzer. Both pitchers looked good, not great. Giancarlo Stanton with a meaningful home run in the first inning, get the Yanks on board. Cole gave up a home run in the bottom of the first and then cruised the rest of the game. So the baseball season has begun in North America. It's obviously an abbreviated season. It is a 60-game season. The Yankees, an example, will play 60 games in 67 days, so not a lot of days off, assuming no rainouts. And baseball, which normally is here in North America, 162-game season, and we often say it's a marathon. This year it'll be a sprint. So obviously teams that get off to a hot start have an advantage. For instance, last year the Washington Nationals, who turned it on in the second half of the year, got off to a very slow start. So one of the obviously major changes is the length of the season. Some other changes, I may have alluded to this before, concern extra innings. Well, even before I say that, the American League has been the league with the DH. This year, both the American League and National League will have the designated hitter. Another change, and there are a lot of protocols related to the virus. Another change, however, will be extra innings. If games go into extra innings, to try and keep those games a little bit shorter. The top of the inning and the bottom of the inning will each begin with a runner on second base. So when we go to the 10th inning, the road team will automatically have a man on second base. Should be easier to score. And then the home team also in the bottom of the 10th will have a man on second base. And if the score remains tied after 10, it will continue that way. Another thing, of course, is no fans in the stands. Some teams will have cardboard cutouts in the stands, so it makes it look a little bit more personal on TV. Other stadiums have elected not to do that. All teams, I think, will have piped-in sound, so it will sound like there are people in the stands, even though they're not. There will be an announcer announcing who's at bat, and when there's a pitching change, what pitcher is coming in. So to try and make it seem as if there are fans in the stands. One thing, of course, the North American Baseball League will not have that the Taiwan baseball and in fact, I believe Korea and Japan, as well as the cheerleaders, which might actually add something to the game in the States, but that would be importing something that I don't think would bode well in the States at least. As far as mask wearing, you'll see that the players for the most part are not wearing masks. Most of the coaches, the managers are. Allegedly, the players are supposed to engage in less celebration, no high fives. However, I certainly saw Thursday night high fives in the Yankee dugout. Yesterday when I was watching, or I should say Friday when I was watching the Met game and pitched another great pitching performance by Jacob deGrom. When the Mets finally did score a run, they won the game 1-0 when Yoenis Cespedes crushed the ball for a home run. There were some high fives in more than a few high fives in the dugout. So I will be curious whether Major League Baseball tries to put a stop to that. That remains to be seen. Another consideration, I'm sure the players are pretty happy about it, is that reporters will not be allowed in the locker room after the game. Certainly the players and reporters have somewhat of an adversarial relationship, somewhat contentious relationship. You'll sometimes see that players won't talk to reporters. So there will probably be some on-field interviews, maybe some interviews via Zoom or some other platform. That's obviously a bit of a change for baseball this year. I mentioned also that being a 60-game series or season, managers will probably manage a little bit differently, and one of the things we'll contribute to that is the rosters. Traditionally, baseball teams have a 25-man roster. I think it was supposed to increase to 26 this year. However, for the start of the season this year, the rosters will be 30 players. After 2 weeks, it'll be reduced to 28 players, and I think after another 2 weeks, it'll go down to 26 players. So managers do have more opportunity to make left-handed, right-handed switches, defensive switches, variety of number of pitching changes, although there were some rules that were brought in to speed the game up. So we'll see about those changes. A couple of other things I may have mentioned about the DH being used in both leagues, not just in the American League. And then culminating in what was just agreed upon is a 16-team playoffs this year. 8 teams for the National League, 8 teams for the American League. The format will be that the first round, the team that finished with the best record, number 1, will play against the team that finished in 8th place. That'll be, and again, 2 against 7, 3 against 6, 4 against 5. That'll be, again, as I said, a 3-game series with all 3 games played at home for the team with a better record. And that'll be then the winner of that will play, so whoever comes out of the 1 versus 8 will play the winner out of 2 versus 7. That will be a 5-game series, and I think the format will be 2-2-1. That will then be followed by the league championships, so the American League Championship, and again a 7-game series. And that will be I believe a 2-2-1-1-1 format, and then followed by the American League and the National League, the World Series, in the traditional 7-game format. Major League Baseball does anticipate that the World Series will be played on the dates originally scheduled for in the 2020 season. Probably the favorites right now are the Yanks and the Dodgers to get to the series. Dodgers became even a better team in their acquisition of Mookie Betts, who they also just signed to a rather lucrative contract. The Yanks made a stronger team by their signing of Garrett Cole. So we'll see what happens. Next week we'll talk a little bit more, revert to baseball in Taiwan. So hope to see you next week. 谢谢大家收看，你们有什么看法请你留言。下个星期见，再会。